The streets are empty now. It is the hour before dawn in Rome, and the city holds its breath. The stone beneath your feet still carries the coolness of night. Somewhere in the distance, a door closes softly. The sound travels far in this quiet. Above you, the sky begins to change. Not yet light, but no longer dark. The stars are fading. On the rooftops of the insula, those tall apartment buildings that crowd the narrow streets, the first birds are stirring. A dove coos. Another answers. An oil lamp flickers in a window 3 stories up. Then another, and another. The city is waking. You stand in a small plaza, watching. The fountain beside you trickles steadily, the only constant sound. In a few hours, this space will be full of voices, full of motion. But now, it belongs to the silence. This is Rome in the 2nd century of the Common Era. A city of perhaps 1 million souls. The heart of an empire that stretches from the cold forests of Britain to the deserts of North Africa, from the Atlantic shores of Hispania to the ancient cities of the eastern Mediterranean. But empires are made of days, and days are made of moments like this one. Today you will live a single day in ancient Rome, not as a senator or an emperor, but as someone ordinary. Someone who wakes when the city wakes, who walks its streets, who eats its food, who bathes in its public baths, who returns home as darkness falls. You will hear the sounds that Romans heard, the clatter of cartwheels on stone, the calls of street vendors, the splash of water in the baths, the murmur of conversation over evening meals. You will smell what they smelled: bread baking before dawn, olive oil and fish sauce, incense in the temples, sweat and perfume in the crowded streets. You will feel the rhythm of their day, the early rising, the morning routines, the heat of midday, the relief of the baths, the comfort of the evening meal, the quiet of night returning. This is not a day of great events. No triumphs, no battles, no speeches that will echo through history. This is simply a day, the kind of day that Romans lived thousands upon thousands of times, the kind of day that made up their lives. We will move slowly through these hours. There is no need to rush. The day will unfold at its own pace, as days do. We will pause where it feels right to pause. We will linger over details that matter. You will see how Romans dressed themselves in the morning, wrapping their togas with practiced hands, how they greeted each other in the streets, how they conducted business in the forum, how they relaxed in the baths, scraping oil and sweat from their skin with curved bronze tools. You will understand what they ate, and when, and why. You will learn the difference between the morning's light meal and the evening's proper dinner. You will taste, in your imagination, the garum that flavored almost everything, that fermented fish sauce that Romans loved and we find so strange. You will meet the people who made the city work, the bakers who rose in darkness to prepare the day's bread, the water carriers who climbed endless stairs, the shopkeepers who opened their shutters to the street, the slaves who served in wealthy households, the craftsmen who shaped metal and wood and clay. And you will see the spaces where Roman life happened, the cramped apartments where most people lived, the grand houses of the wealthy built around quiet courtyards, the public baths with their hot rooms and cold plunges, the forum where politics and commerce mixed, the temples where gods received their offerings. As the day moves forward, you will feel the heat rise and then fade. You will sense the city's energy peak at midday and then soften into evening. You will watch as oil lamps are lit again, as families gather for their main meal, as the streets empty once more. And at the end, you will return to silence, to the moment when Rome sleeps, when the day that seemed so full of activity becomes a memory, when the eternal city rests. If you enjoy calm history designed for rest, consider subscribing to Archive of Rest. We create these long, gentle narratives for deep listening and peaceful sleep. But for now, let us begin. The sky is growing lighter. The first true sounds of morning are starting. A rooster crows from someone's rooftop garden. A baby cries in an upper apartment. A man coughs. The day is coming. Let us step into it together and see what it holds. The baker is already awake. He has been awake for hours, actually. While the city slept, he was working. His hands are dusted with flour. His face is flushed from the heat of the oven. The smell of baking bread fills his shop and spills out into the street. This is how Rome wakes, not all at once, but in layers. The bakers come first. They must, because bread is what Rome runs on. Every morning the city needs its bread. So the bakers rise in darkness, kindle their ovens, mix their dough. By the time the sky begins to lighten, the first loaves are already browning. In the apartment buildings, the insulae, people are stirring. These buildings are tall. 5 stories, sometimes 6. They house most of Rome's population. The wealthy live on the lower floors, where the rooms are larger and the stairs are fewer. The poor live higher up, in smaller rooms, under roofs that leak when it rains. On the top floor of one insula, a woman wakes to the sound of her neighbor's baby crying through the thin wall. She lies still for a moment, listening. The baby quiets. She can hear her husband breathing beside her. Outside, a cart rumbles past on the street below. She rises. The room is small and dark. There is no window, only a small opening near the ceiling that lets in a little light and air. She feels her way to the corner where they keep their water jug. She pours a little into a bowl and splashes her face. The water is cold. It wakes her fully. Her husband stirs. Soon they will both need to leave for work. He labors at a construction site across the city. She works in a wealthy household, helping with the cooking and cleaning. But first, there are small rituals: getting dressed, eating something, preparing for the day. Across the city, in a domus, a proper house, the waking is different. Here there is space. Rooms arranged around a central courtyard, a small garden with a fountain, painted walls, mosaic floors. This is where a merchant lives with his family and his household slaves. The slaves wake first. They always do. A young man named Marcus, a slave who serves as the household's doorkeeper and general helper, rises from his mat in the small room near the entrance. He stretches. His back aches. The mat is thin and the floor is hard, but he is used to it. He steps into the courtyard. The sky above is turning from black to deep blue. The fountain trickles softly. He can see a few stars still visible, though they are fading. Marcus goes to the kitchen. Another slave, an older woman named Lucia, is already there. She is the cook. She nods to him, but does not speak. Not yet. It is too early for conversation. She is building up the fire in the kitchen hearth. Marcus helps her, bringing wood from the pile outside. Soon the fire is crackling. Lucia sets a pot of water to heat. In the main part of the house, the master is waking. He is a man in his 40s, successful in the grain trade. He sleeps in a proper bed, with his wife beside him. Their bedroom is on the ground floor, off the courtyard, where it stays cooler in summer. He opens his eyes. The room is dim, but he can see the faint light coming through the doorway. He can hear the fountain, the sound of the fire being built in the kitchen, the soft footsteps of slaves beginning their work. He does not rise immediately. He lies there, thinking about the day ahead. He has a meeting at the forum, a shipment to arrange, letters to dictate. His mind is already working. Beside him, his wife wakes. She touches his shoulder. He turns to her. They speak quietly. Small domestic matters, their daughter's upcoming betrothal, a dinner they are hosting in 3 days, the need to buy more olive oil. These are the sounds of Rome waking. Quiet conversations, footsteps, water being poured, fires being lit, doors opening. Outside, the streets are coming alive. The water carriers are out now. These are men who make their living hauling water from the public fountains to the upper floors of the insulae. They carry large jugs on their shoulders, climbing the narrow stairs again and again. It is hard work. Their legs are strong from it. One of them pauses at a fountain to refill his jugs. He drinks deeply himself first. The water is cold and clean. Rome's aqueducts bring water from springs in the hills, and it flows constantly through the city. This is one of Rome's great achievements. Clean water, always available. A shopkeeper is opening his shutters. His shop is on the ground floor of an insula. During the day, the shutters fold down to create a counter facing the street. At night, they close up tight. Now, in the early morning, he is opening them again. He sells pottery, simple bowls and cups and jugs, the kind that ordinary people use every day. He arranges his wares on the counter. He sweeps the floor of his shop. He is ready for customers, though it will be a while before many people are out. A temple attendant is unlocking the doors of a small neighborhood shrine. He will make the morning offerings soon, a little incense, a few drops of wine. The gods must be honored at the start of each day. The light is growing stronger now. The sky is no longer dark blue, but a pale gray. Soon it will be pink, then gold. The sun is coming. More people are emerging from the insulae, men heading to work, women going to the fountains with water jugs, children being sent on errands. The street is no longer empty. A rooster crows, then another. Rome keeps chickens on rooftops and in small courtyards. Their crowing marks the transition from night to day. The baker's first customers arrive. They buy their bread still warm. They will eat some now and save some for later. Bread, and perhaps a little cheese or some olives. This is breakfast for most Romans. Simple and quick. The city is awake now. The day has begun. And there is so much day ahead. Getting dressed in ancient Rome is not a simple matter. In the small apartment on the top floor of the insula, the woman wraps herself in her tunic. It is a simple garment, a long rectangle of wool folded and pinned at the shoulders, a belt at the waist, that is all. Her tunic is undyed, the natural color of wool. Gray-brown, it is practical. It does not show dirt as easily as white would. She owns 2 tunics, one to wear while the other is being washed. She combs her hair with her fingers. She has no mirror. She ties her hair back with a strip of cloth. She is ready. Her husband dresses in a similar tunic. His is shorter, ending at the knee. Better for physical work. He pulls on his sandals. Leather straps wrapped around his feet and ankles. They are worn, but still serviceable. They eat standing up. A piece of bread each. Some water. There is no table in their room, no chairs. They own very little. A sleeping mat, a few cooking pots, their clothes, a lamp, a small shrine to the household gods in the corner. The husband leaves first. He must walk across the city to reach the construction site. It will take him nearly an hour. He kisses his wife on the forehead and steps out into the stairwell. The stairs are narrow and dark. He descends carefully. 5 flights. He passes neighbors coming and going. They nod to each other but do not stop to talk. Everyone is in motion. Everyone has somewhere to be. In the merchant's house, the morning routine is more elaborate. The master has risen from his bed. A slave brings him water in a bronze basin. He washes his hands and face. The water is warm. Lucia heated it in the kitchen. Another slave helps him dress. First, the tunic. His is made of finer wool than what the laborer wears. It is white, or nearly white. It has been washed and bleached. It falls to his ankles. Over this he will wear his toga, but not yet. The toga is for going out, for appearing in public, for conducting business. It is the mark of a Roman citizen, but it is also cumbersome, heavy, difficult to arrange properly. No one wears a toga at home if they can avoid it. For now, he stays in his tunic. He will put on the toga later when he is ready to leave for the forum. He goes to the small room he uses as an office. A slave has already opened the shutters. Light streams in from the courtyard. He sits at his desk. It is a simple table with a chair. On the desk are his writing materials. Wax tablets for notes and calculations. Papyrus for important letters. Reed pens. Ink. He begins to review his accounts. Numbers written in Roman numerals. Shipments of grain. Payments owed. Payments received. His mind is sharp in the morning. This is when he does his best thinking. His wife is also awake and dressed. Her tunic is longer than her husband's, reaching to her feet. It is made of linen, lighter than wool, more comfortable. Over it she wears a stola, another layer that marks her as a married woman of status. Her hair is more elaborate than the working woman's simple tie. A slave girl helps her arrange it. Roman women of wealth wear their hair in complex styles, braids and curls, pins and ribbons. It takes time. She wears jewelry, a gold necklace, earrings, a ring. These are not just decorations. They are displays of her husband's success, of the family's position. She goes to check on the household. This is her domain, the slaves, the food, the supplies, the smooth running of the home. She speaks with Lucia about the day's meals. She inspects the storeroom. She gives instructions. Their daughter is still sleeping. She is 15, soon to be married. But for now, she is allowed to sleep a little longer. The young have that privilege. Breakfast in this household is also simple, but there's more of it. Bread, yes, but also cheese, olives, dried fruit, a little honey. They eat in the courtyard, where it is pleasant. The fountain makes its gentle sound. The morning air is still cool. The master eats, quickly. He is thinking about his day. The wife eats more slowly. She is thinking about the dinner party in 3 days, the menu, the guests, the arrangements. Across Rome, in thousands of households, similar scenes are unfolding. Fathers are preparing for work. Mothers are organizing their homes. Children are waking. Slaves are serving. The machinery of daily life is engaging. In some homes there are morning prayers, a small offering at the household shrine. The Lares, the protective spirits of the home, must be honored. A little incense burned, a few drops of wine poured, a brief prayer spoken. These rituals matter. Romans are a religious people, not in the way we might think of religion today, but in a practical sense. The gods are real to them, present, active. They must be kept happy. Neglecting them brings bad luck. A wealthy senator is being shaved by his barber. This is a daily ritual for men of status. Roman men do not wear beards. Clean-shaven is the fashion. The barber works carefully with his bronze razor. It is sharp, but not as sharp as modern steel. The process requires skill. The senator sits still. His face is lathered with olive oil. The barber scrapes away the stubble. It is not entirely comfortable, but it is necessary. Appearance matters in Rome, especially for those in public life. When the shaving is done, the senator's face is rubbed with more oil, then wiped clean. His skin is smooth. He is ready to face the world. Now comes the toga. The senator's slave brings it. The toga is a massive piece of cloth, semicircular, made of white wool. It weighs perhaps 20 pounds. Putting it on correctly requires help and practice. The slave drapes it over the senator's left shoulder, brings it around his back, under his right arm, across his chest, over his left shoulder again. The folds must fall just right. The hem must be the correct length. It takes several minutes to arrange. When it is done, the senator looks impressive, dignified, Roman. The toga is uncomfortable and impractical, but it is the uniform of citizenship, of civilization, of power. The merchant in his house is also preparing to put on his toga. His is simpler than the senator's. No purple stripe, just plain white. But it is still a toga. He is still a citizen. His slave helps him. The process is the same: the draping, the folding, the adjusting. When it is finished, the merchant looks at himself in a polished bronze mirror. He nods. He is ready. The morning is advancing. The sun is fully up now. The streets are busy. The city is in motion. It is time to go out. Time to enter the public world. Time to work. The streets are alive now. Step outside any door in Rome at this hour, and you are immediately surrounded by noise. Voices calling, cartwheels grinding against stone, hammers striking metal, animals bleating, children shouting, the sound of a city at work. The narrow streets between the insulae are crowded. People press past each other. A man carrying a ladder forces everyone to flatten against the walls as he passes. A woman with a basket of vegetables on her head moves steadily through the crowd. 2 slaves carry a litter with a wealthy woman inside, calling out for people to make way. The shops are open now, their shutters folded down to create counters facing the street. Each shop is small, just a single room, really. But from these small spaces, Rome's commerce flows. A butcher hangs his meat on hooks. Pork and lamb and goat. The meat is fresh, killed this morning. Blood still drips onto the stone floor. Flies are already gathering. The butcher waves them away with a cloth. He calls out to passers-by. Fresh meat. Good prices. Come and see. Next door, a vegetable seller arranges his produce. Onions and garlic. Leeks and cabbage. Turnips and beets. Some lettuce, though it is wilting in the heat. He sprinkles water on it to keep it fresh-looking. He knows his customers. He knows what will sell. A baker's shop is doing steady business. People come and go buying their bread. Some buy plain loaves. Others buy bread with cheese baked into it, or bread studded with olives. The baker's hands move quickly, taking coins, handing over bread, making change. Roman coins are heavy. Bronze and silver and sometimes gold. They bear the emperor's face. They are the lifeblood of commerce. They pass from hand to hand thousands of times each day. A shoemaker sits in his shop, working. He is making sandals. His hands are skilled. He cuts the leather with a sharp knife. He punches holes with an awl. He threads the straps through. He has been making shoes since he was a boy. His father taught him. Someday he will teach his son. Customers come in. They need repairs. A broken strap, a worn sole. The shoemaker examines the damage. He quotes a price. They haggle. This is expected. No one pays the first price asked. Finally, they agree. The shoemaker sets the sandals aside. Come back tomorrow. They will be ready. A potter's shop displays rows of vessels, amphorae for storing wine and oil, jugs for water, bowls for eating, lamps for light. All made of clay, all fired in a kiln. Some are plain. Some are decorated with simple patterns. The potter is at his wheel now in the back of the shop. His feet work the pedal, the wheel spins. His hands shape the wet clay. A bowl is forming. It looks easy, but it is not. It takes years to learn this skill, to know exactly how much pressure to apply, how to keep the walls even, how to create a shape that is both beautiful and useful. Further down the street, a blacksmith shop rings with the sound of hammer on anvil. The blacksmith is making nails, simple iron nails. He heats the iron in his forge until it glows red. Then he hammers it, shapes it. The sparks fly. The metal gradually takes form. Nails are always needed. For construction, for repairs, for everything. The blacksmith makes hundreds of them. His arms are strong from the work. His face is permanently flushed from the heat of the forge. His apprentice works the bellows, keeping the fire hot. The boy is perhaps 12. He watches his master carefully, learning. Someday he will be a blacksmith, too. But for now, he pumps the bellows and fetches tools and tries to stay out of the way. The streets smell of everything at once. Bread baking, meat cooking, leather being worked, metal being heated, human sweat, animal dung, garbage rotting in corners, incense from the temples, perfume from passing wealthy women. It is not a pleasant smell exactly, but it is the smell of life, of activity, of a city functioning. A barber has set up his stool on the street corner. He is shaving a customer right there in public. The man sits still while the barber works his razor. Other men wait their turn. They talk among themselves. Politics, gossip, the price of grain, the upcoming games. This is where news spreads. In the streets, in the shops, in the barber's chair. Rome has no newspapers, no mass communication. Information travels by word of mouth. A rumor starts in one neighborhood, and by evening it has crossed the city. A group of construction workers passes by. They are heading to a building site. They carry their tools, hammers and chisels, measuring rods. They are building an addition to someone's house. It will take weeks. They will work through the heat of the day, stopping only briefly at midday. The laborer from the insula is among them. He walks with his colleagues. They joke with each other. Rough humor. They are tired already, but the day is just beginning. A water carrier climbs the stairs of an insula. His jug is full and heavy. He counts the floors as he climbs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. His legs burn. His shoulders ache. But this is his work. He will make this climb 20 times today, maybe more. He delivers the water to an apartment. An old woman pays him a few small coins. He thanks her and starts back down. At the bottom, he will refill his jug and climb again. A funeral procession moves through the street. Everyone stops and makes way. The body is being carried on a bier. Family members follow, wailing. Professional mourners add their voices. The sound is piercing, dramatic. This is how Romans mourn, loudly, publicly. The procession passes. Life resumes. A teacher sits in a small room off the street. His students, boys from families that can afford education, sit on benches before him. They are reciting their lessons. Greek grammar, Latin poetry, mathematics. The teacher corrects them when they stumble. His voice is patient but firm. Education is important to Romans, at least to those who can afford it. A boy must learn to read and write, to speak well, to understand numbers. These skills will serve him throughout his life. Girls are educated too, though usually at home. They learn reading and writing, music, how to manage a household, how to be proper wives and mothers. Their education is different from the boys, but it is still education. A slave dealer has his merchandise on display, men and women and children standing in a line. They are for sale. Some look defeated, others defiant. A few look simply blank, as if they have gone somewhere else in their minds. Potential buyers examine them, check their teeth, feel their muscles, ask questions. Where are they from? What skills do they have? Are they healthy? The dealer answers smoothly. He is a salesman. He knows how to present his goods. Slavery is woven into the fabric of Roman life. It is not questioned, it simply is. Some slaves are treated well, others are not. Some eventually earn their freedom, others die in bondage. It is a reality of this world. A street vendor sells hot food from a cart. Sausages, fried fish, chickpea porridge. The smell is enticing. Workers stop to buy lunch. They eat standing up, right there on the street. The food is cheap and filling. It is fuel for the afternoon's labor. The merchant from the domus walks through all of this. His toga marks him as different. People make way for him. He is a citizen, a man of property. He moves with confidence. He is heading to the forum. That is where business is conducted, where deals are made, where the important people gather. The streets are just the path to get there. But the streets are where Rome really lives, in these narrow lanes, in these small shops, in the hands of these workers and craftsmen and vendors. This is the engine that drives the empire. The sun is climbing higher. The heat is building. The day is moving forward. There is still so much to see. The Forum is the heart of Rome. It is a large, open space surrounded by temples and basilicas and government buildings. Marble columns rise toward the sky. Statues of gods and emperors stand on pedestals. The ground is paved with stone, worn smooth by countless feet. This is where power lives. The merchant arrives and pauses at the edge of the Forum. He adjusts his toga. He wants to look proper, dignified. Here, appearances matter even more than in the streets. The Forum is crowded. It is always crowded at this hour. Men in togas move in groups, talking. Some walk slowly, deep in conversation. Others stand in clusters, gesturing as they speak. The air is full of voices. These are the citizens of Rome, the men who vote, who hold office, who make decisions. Not all Romans are citizens. Women are not citizens. Slaves are not citizens. Foreigners are not citizens. But these men are, and this is their space. The merchant is here to meet a business associate, a man who imports wine from Gaul. They have a deal to discuss, terms to negotiate. The merchant scans the crowd, looking for him. While he waits, he observes. Near the rostra, the speaker's platform, a politician is addressing a crowd. He is running for office, a dial, perhaps, or tribune. He speaks loudly, his voice carrying across the Forum. He promises to improve the grain supply, to repair the aqueducts, to put on better games. The crowd listens with varying degrees of attention. Some men nod, others look skeptical. A few heckle. This is Roman politics. Loud, public, direct. The politician is flanked by his supporters. They cheer at the right moments, they applaud, they try to make him look popular. It is theater in a way, but it is also real. Elections matter. Office brings power and prestige. Nearby, a group of lawyers is gathered. They are discussing a case. One of them will argue it later today in the Basilica. He is practicing his points. His colleagues offer suggestions. They debate the finer points of law. Roman law is complex. It has been developing for centuries. There are laws about property, about contracts, about inheritance, about crimes. The lawyers know these laws. They can cite precedents. They can argue interpretations. A case might involve a disputed will, or a broken contract, or a boundary disagreement between neighbors. The lawyers will present their arguments before a judge. Witnesses will testify. Evidence will be examined. Eventually, a decision will be made. The law is important to Romans. It is one of the things that makes them civilized, one of the things that separates them from the barbarians beyond the borders. A senator walks past. He is older, distinguished. His toga has a purple stripe, the mark of his rank. People make way for him. Some greet him respectfully. He nods in return but does not stop. He is heading to the Senate House. There is a session today. They will debate a proposal about taxes in one of the provinces, or perhaps about funding for a new temple. The business of empire never stops. The Senate is not what it once was. The emperor holds the real power now. But the Senate still matters. It still has influence. It still commands respect. And senators are still among the most important men in Rome. The merchant spots his associate. They greet each other formally. A handshake. Polite inquiries about health and family. Then they get down to business. They walk as they talk. This is common. Movement helps thinking. They discuss quantities, prices, delivery schedules. The merchant wants a better rate. The wine importer explains his costs. They negotiate. Around them, hundreds of similar conversations are happening. Deals being made. Partnerships being formed. Disputes being settled. The forum is Rome's marketplace, but not for vegetables and meat. For bigger things. For commerce on a grand scale. A group of young men stands near one of the temples. They are from wealthy families. They are here to be seen, to network, to learn how power works. They watch the senators. They listen to the lawyers. They are the next generation. One of them will someday hold office. Perhaps several of them will. They are being groomed for it. Their fathers are teaching them, introducing them to the right people, showing them how the system works. A priest emerges from one of the temples. He has just performed a sacrifice, an offering to Jupiter, perhaps, or to Mars. The gods must be honored, especially here in the heart of the city. The priest's robes are white. His head is covered. He carries himself with dignity. Religion and politics are not separate in Rome. They are intertwined. The priests are important men. They interpret omens. They advise on religious matters. They ensure that the gods are pleased. A public notice is being posted. A slave holds a ladder while a clerk climbs up and affixes a wooden board to a wall. The board contains an announcement, perhaps about new regulations, or upcoming games, or a change in tax policy. People gather to read it. Those who can read anyway. Not everyone can, but those who can read it aloud for the others. Information spreads this way, through public postings and word of mouth. The merchant and his associate reach an agreement. They will shake hands on it. Later, they will formalize it with a written contract. But the handshake is binding. A man's word matters in Rome. Reputation is everything. They part ways. The merchant has other business to attend to. He needs to visit a banker. He has funds to deposit, a loan to arrange. Banking is well developed in Rome. Money can be borrowed. Interest is charged. Accounts are kept. The banker's office is in one of the buildings off the Forum. The merchant enters. It is cooler inside, quieter. The banker greets him. They sit. They discuss numbers. Outside, the Forum continues its busy hum. A group of ordinary citizens stands watching the powerful men. They are not part of this world. They cannot afford togas. They do not have business deals to make. But they come to the Forum anyway, to watch, to listen, to feel connected to the center of things. They see the senators, the lawyers, the merchants, the priests. They see the machinery of power operating. It is impressive. It is also distant. These ordinary men will never be part of it, but they can observe it. A veteran soldier walks through the Forum. He is old now. His fighting days are over, but he wears his military decorations. He walks with pride. He served Rome. He fought in distant lands. He earned his citizenship through blood. People respect veterans. They have done what most men have not. They have faced death for the empire. They deserve honor. The sun is directly overhead now. The heat is intense. The marble reflects it. The stone pavement radiates it. Men wipe sweat from their faces. Some seek shade under the colonnades. The morning's business is winding down. Soon, people will retreat from the heat. They will seek cooler places. They will rest. They will eat. But for now, the Forum still pulses with activity. Voices still rise and fall. Deals are still being made. Power is still being exercised. This is Rome at its most Roman. This is where the city shows what it is. Not just a collection of buildings and streets, but an idea, a system, a civilization. The merchant finishes his banking business. He steps back out into the Forum. The heat hits him like a wall. He is ready to leave, ready to find somewhere cooler. The day is only half over. But already it has been full. The heat is at its peak now. The sun beats down on the city without mercy. The stone streets are hot enough to burn bare feet. The air shimmers. Even the most energetic Romans are slowing down. It is time to eat, time to rest, time to escape the worst of the heat. The merchant makes his way to a thermopolium. This is a kind of tavern, a place that sells hot food and drink. They are everywhere in Rome, on nearly every street corner. This particular thermopolium is small but clean. The counter faces the street. Set into the counter are large clay jars, dolia that hold the food, stew, porridge, wine. The jars are kept warm by a fire underneath. The merchant is hungry. He did not eat much at breakfast, just bread and cheese. Now his stomach is demanding attention. He orders a bowl of chickpea stew. The proprietor ladles it out. It is thick and hot, flavored with garum, that fermented fish sauce that Romans put on everything. The merchant also orders wine. It comes mixed with water. Romans rarely drink wine straight. Too strong, too uncivilized. He takes his food to a small table inside. There are a few tables here. Most customers eat standing at the counter or take their food away. But the merchant wants to sit, to rest his feet, to be out of the sun for a while. The stew is good, simple but satisfying. The chickpeas are soft. The garum gives it a salty, savory depth. He eats slowly, savoring it. Other customers come and go. A laborer buys bread and sausage. 2 women buy wine and drink it quickly, laughing together. A slave is sent by his master to buy food to take home. The proprietor knows many of his customers by name. He greets them, asks about their families, makes jokes. This is his livelihood, but it is also his social world. The Thermopolium is a gathering place, a spot where the neighborhood comes together. Across the city, in the insula, the laborer's wife is also eating. She has returned home briefly from her work at the wealthy household. She has a little time before she must go back. She eats bread, some olives, a piece of cheese. She sits on the floor of her small room. The heat up here is oppressive. The roof is directly above. It absorbs the sun all day. By afternoon, these top-floor rooms are like ovens. She drinks water. She is tired. Her feet hurt, but she cannot rest long. There is still work to do. The wealthy household needs her. She will return soon. In the merchant's house, the midday meal is more elaborate. The family eats together in the courtyard, where it is cooler. The fountain helps. The sound of water makes everything feel less hot. Lucia has prepared the meal. Cold meats, bread, cheese, olives, figs, lettuce dressed with oil and vinegar, a light wine mixed with water. They eat reclining on couches. This is the Roman way, not sitting upright at a table, but lying on one's side, propped on an elbow. It takes practice to eat this way without spilling, but it is comfortable once you are used to it. The merchant's wife picks at her food. She is not very hungry in this heat. Their daughter eats more. She is young. Her appetite is strong. They talk quietly. The daughter mentions a friend who is getting married. The wife discusses the upcoming dinner party. The merchant listens but does not say much. He is thinking about his business, about the deal he made this morning, about the profit he will make. After eating, he will rest. This is the custom. The hottest part of the day is for resting, for staying out of the sun, for letting the body recover. Many shops close during these hours. The shutters come down. The proprietors retreat inside to sleep or simply to lie still in whatever shade they can find. The streets empty somewhat, not completely. There are always people moving about. But the frantic energy of the morning is gone. Everything slows. In the Thermopolium, the merchant finishes his meal. He pays. The coins clink on the counter. He steps back out into the heat. He will go home now. Rest for a few hours. Later, when the sun is lower, he will go to the baths. But for now, he needs to be still. He walks slowly through the streets. Other men in togas are doing the same, heading home, seeking relief from the heat. A dog lies in a patch of shade, panting. A cat is stretched out on a windowsill, barely moving. Even the animals know to rest now. The construction workers have stopped their labor. They sit in whatever shade they can find at the building site. They eat their lunches, bread and onions, cheese, watered wine. They talk little. They are too hot and too tired. The laborer from the insula is among them. He chews his bread slowly. He drinks deeply from his cup. His tunic is soaked with sweat. His hands are rough and calloused. His back aches. But he is alive. He has work. He has food. He has a wife waiting at home. These are not small things. In the wealthy households, slaves are still working. They do not get to rest. There are always tasks, always things that need doing. But they work more slowly now. Even the masters understand. No one can work at full speed in this heat. Lucia is cleaning up from the midday meal. She washes the dishes in a basin. She wipes down the table. She is efficient. She has been doing this for years. She is a slave, but she is treated reasonably well. She is fed. She has a place to sleep. She is not beaten. Some slaves have it much worse. She knows this. She is grateful in her way. The city is quiet now. as quiet as Rome ever gets. The roar has diminished to a murmur. The heat has imposed a kind of peace. This is the pause in the middle of the day, the breath between morning and afternoon, the moment when even Rome rests. But it will not last long. Soon the heat will begin to ease. Soon people will emerge again. Soon the city will wake from its brief sleep. For now, though, there is stillness. There is shade. There is the simple pleasure of not moving. The day is half over, but there is still much to come. The afternoon heat is beginning to ease. The sun is lower now, still bright, still warm, but no longer punishing. The city is stirring again. People are emerging from their homes. The streets are filling once more. It is time for the baths. The public baths are one of Rome's great institutions. They are not just places to get clean. They are social centers, meeting places, where business is discussed and friendships are maintained, where news is shared and gossip spreads. There are baths throughout the city, small neighborhood baths, large imperial baths built by emperors. Some are simple, others are magnificent, with marble columns and elaborate mosaics and soaring vaulted ceilings. The merchant heads to his usual bathhouse. It is a good one, not the largest, but well-maintained, clean, respectable, the kind of place where men of his class gather. He pays his entrance fee, a few small coins. The baths are cheap. Even the poor can afford them. This is intentional. The emperors want the people to have access to baths. It keeps them healthy. It keeps them happy. Inside, he enters the changing room. He removes his toga and tunic. A slave takes them and stores them in a cubbyhole. The merchant is now naked. This is normal. Everyone is naked in the baths. There is no shame in it. He begins in the exercise yard. This is an open courtyard where men can wrestle or play ball games or simply stretch their muscles. The merchant is not particularly athletic, but he does some light exercises, bends and stretches, enough to work up a sweat. Other men are doing the same. Some are more vigorous, young men wrestling, older men tossing a ball back and forth, the sound of exertion, grunts and laughter. After exercising, the merchant moves to the warm room, the tepidarium. This is a transitional space, warm but not hot. He sits on a bench. His body is adjusting to the heat. Other men are here too. They talk about politics, about business, about the upcoming games at the Colosseum. The merchant joins a conversation. He knows some of these men. They greet each other. This is what the baths are really for. This social interaction, this networking. More deals are made in the baths than in the forum, some say. From the tepidarium, he moves to the hot room, the caldarium. The heat here is intense. Steam rises from a pool of hot water. The walls are warm to the touch. Sweat begins to pour from his body. He sits for a while, letting the heat penetrate. It feels good. His muscles relax. The tension of the day begins to drain away. Then he enters the hot pool. The water is almost too hot to bear at first, but he eases in slowly. Soon his body adjusts. He sits in the water up to his neck. Other men are in the pool too. They talk quietly. The heat makes everyone a bit drowsy. After the hot pool, he gets out. A slave approaches with a strigil. This is a curved bronze tool used to scrape oil and sweat and dirt from the skin. Romans do not use soap. Instead, they oil their bodies and then scrape it off. The slave pours oil over the merchant's back and shoulders. Then he scrapes it away with the strigil. The motion is firm but not painful. The oil comes away cloudy with sweat and grime. The slave works methodically. Back, shoulders, arms, chest, legs. When he is finished, the merchant's skin is clean and smooth. He feels refreshed. Now comes the cold plunge. This is a pool of cold water. After the intense heat, the cold is shocking. But it is also invigorating. The merchant takes a breath and plunges in. The cold hits him like a slap. His breath catches. His heart pounds. But after a moment, it feels wonderful. Alive. Awake. He does not stay in long, just enough to cool down. Then he climbs out, water streaming from his body. A slave brings him a towel. He dries himself. Another slave brings his clothes. He dresses slowly. There is no rush. He feels clean, relaxed, ready for the evening. Around him, the bathhouse is full of activity, men moving between rooms, conversations echoing off the marble walls, the splash of water, the scrape of strigils, the sound of laughter. In another part of the bathhouse there is a library. Some baths have these. Small rooms with scrolls. Men can read while they relax. The merchant sometimes does this, but not today. Today he is content to simply be clean. There is also a snack bar. Food and drink are available. Some men eat here after bathing. Olives and bread. Wine. It is a pleasant way to end the afternoon. The laborer from the insula is also at the baths. Not the same bathhouse as the merchant. A smaller, simpler one in his neighborhood. But the routine is the same. He exercises. He sweats in the hot room. He scrapes himself with a strigil. He does not have a slave to do it for him, so he does it himself. He plunges into the cold water. He feels better afterward. The grime of the construction site is gone. His muscles are less sore. He is ready to go home to his wife. The baths are democratic in a way. Rich and poor both use them. Not the same bathhouses usually. But the experience is similar. Everyone gets clean. Everyone relaxes. Everyone participates in this ritual that is so fundamentally Roman. Women also go to the baths, but separately, either at different times or in different sections. The sexes do not mix in the baths. That would be improper. The merchant's wife went to the baths earlier in the day. She had a similar experience, the heat, the scraping, the cold plunge. She also met friends there. They talked while they bathed, about their families, about household matters, about the social events coming up. For women, the baths are one of the few public spaces where they can gather freely, where they can talk without men listening. It is important to them. The merchant leaves the bathhouse. The sun is lower now. The light is golden. The heat has broken. The evening is coming. He feels good, clean and relaxed. His toga is fresh. His skin is smooth. He is ready for the evening meal. Other men are leaving too, streaming out into the streets, heading home. The bathhouse will stay open for a few more hours. There will be another wave of visitors later. But for now, this group is done. The streets are busy again. The afternoon lull is over. Shops are reopening. People are out. The city has its energy back, but it is a different energy than the morning. Softer, more relaxed. The urgency is gone. People are moving toward home, toward family, toward the evening meal. The merchant walks slowly. He is in no hurry. He enjoys this time of day, the light, the cooler air, the sense of the day winding down. He thinks about dinner, about his wife and daughter waiting at home, about the food Lucia will have prepared, about the conversation they will have. The baths have done their work. He is refreshed, ready for whatever the evening brings. This is the rhythm of Roman life. Work and rest. Heat and coolness. Dirt and cleanliness. The baths are part of that rhythm. an essential part. Without them, Rome would not be Rome. Not everyone goes straight home after the baths. Some head to the amphitheater, to the games, to the spectacle that Rome is famous for. The Colosseum dominates the landscape. It is massive, 4 stories of arches and columns. It can hold 50,000 people. When there are games, it fills. Today there are games. The emperor is sponsoring them. This means they will be elaborate, expensive, impressive. The emperor wants the people to love him. The games are how he buys that love. People stream toward the Colosseum from all directions, rich and poor, citizens and non-citizens, men and women and children. Everyone is welcome at the games. Admission is free, another gift from the emperor. The crowd is excited, loud. There is an energy in the air, anticipation. The games are a break from ordinary life, a chance to see something extraordinary. The merchant is not going today. He has been to the games many times. He will go again, but not today. Today he wants to go home, to be with his family. But many others are going. The laborer from the insula is among them. He has finished his work. He has bathed. Now he wants entertainment. He wants to forget his aching muscles and his small room and his hard life. The games offer that escape. He enters through one of the many arched doorways. The crowd flows in like water. Everyone knows where to go. The seating is organized by class. Senators at the front, equestrians behind them, ordinary citizens higher up, women and slaves in the uppermost sections. The laborer climbs to his section. The stairs are steep, but he is used to climbing. He finds a spot on the stone bench. It is crowded. People press together, but no one minds. This is part of the experience. The arena floor is far below. It is covered with sand, fresh sand, golden in the late afternoon light. Soon that sand will be stained. The games begin with a procession. Officials, priests, musicians. They circle the arena. The crowd cheers. The sound is enormous. 50,000 voices rising together. It is like thunder. Then come the animal hunts. Exotic beasts from across the empire, lions from Africa, bears from the northern forests, leopards, wolves. They are released into the arena. Hunters with spears face them. The crowd watches intently. When a hunter makes a good throw, they cheer. When an animal charges, they gasp. It is violent. It is bloody. But it is also thrilling. Romans do not see this violence the way we might. To them, it is entertainment. It is spectacle. It demonstrates Roman power. Roman control over nature, over the wild things of the world. The animals die, one by one. The hunters are skilled. They know what they are doing. The sand grows dark with blood. Next come the gladiators. This is what most people are here to see. The gladiators are fighters. Some are slaves. Some are criminals. Some are free men who have chosen this life for the money and the glory. They enter the arena in pairs. Each pair is matched. Different types of gladiators with different weapons and armor. A heavily armored fighter against a lightly armored one with a net and trident. A swordsman against a fighter with a spear. The crowd has favorites. They cheer for the gladiators they know. The ones who have won before. The ones who fight with style. The fights are real. The weapons are sharp. Men die in this arena. Not in every fight, but often enough. When a gladiator is wounded and cannot continue, he can appeal to the crowd. To the emperor, if he is present. They decide if he lives or dies. Today, the emperor is not here, but his representative is. A high official who sits in the imperial box. He will make the decisions. The laborer watches a fight between two swordsmen. They circle each other, testing, probing. Then one lunges, the other parries. The clash of metal on metal rings out. The crowd is silent now, focused, watching every move. The fighters are skilled. They have trained for years. This is not random violence. It is a craft, an art in its way. One fighter stumbles. The other presses his advantage. A quick series of strikes. The stumbling fighter goes down. His sword falls from his hand. He raises his finger, the gesture of surrender. The crowd roars. Some shout for mercy. Others shout for death. The official in the imperial box considers. He looks at the crowd. He looks at the fallen fighter. He gives the signal. Mercy, the fighter will live. The crowd's reaction is mixed. Some cheer. Others boo. But the decision is made. The victor helps the defeated man to his feet. They leave the arena together. More fights follow. The afternoon wears on. The sun sinks lower. The light changes. The sand is churned and bloody now. Between fights there is other entertainment. Acrobats, musicians, comedic performers. These interludes give the crowd a chance to relax, to talk among themselves, to buy food from vendors who move through the seats. The laborer buys a cup of watered wine. He drinks it slowly. He is enjoying himself. For these few hours he is not a laborer. He is not poor. He is a Roman, watching the games, equal to everyone else here in this moment. This is what the games do. They create a sense of unity, of shared experience, rich and poor, all watching the same spectacle, all cheering for the same fighters, all part of the same crowd. It is a tool of control, in a way. Keep the people entertained and they will not rebel. Give them bread and circuses, as the saying goes, and they will be content. But it is also genuine. The people truly enjoy the games. They look forward to them. They talk about them for days afterward. Who fought well? Who died bravely? Who won unexpectedly? As the sun touches the horizon, the games wind down. The final fights are completed. The crowd begins to disperse. Slowly at first, then more quickly. 50,000 people trying to leave through the exits at once. The laborer moves with the crowd. He is tired, but satisfied. He has seen good fights. He has cheered and gasped, and been part of something larger than himself. He makes his way through the streets. They are full of people leaving the games. Everyone is talking, reliving the best moments, arguing about the decisions, praising their favorite gladiators. The energy is still high, but it is beginning to fade. People are remembering their ordinary lives, their homes, their families, their work tomorrow. The laborer thinks about his wife. She will have food ready. Simple food, but food. They will eat together. They will talk about their days. Then they will sleep. The games are over. The spectacle is done. Real life resumes. But for a few hours there was magic. There was excitement. There was escape. That is what the games offer. And that is why Romans love them. The light is fading now. The sky is turning from gold to pink to purple. The heat of the day is gone. A coolness is settling over the city. This is the best time of day in Rome. The gentle hour. The merchant arrives home. He enters through the front door. Marcus, the doorkeeper, greets him. The merchant nods and passes into the courtyard. His wife is there, supervising the final preparations for dinner. She looks up and smiles. He is home. The family is together. The day is nearly done. Their daughter is already reclining on one of the dining couches. She is talking with her mother about something. The merchant cannot hear what. He does not need to. It is enough that they are here, that they are safe, that the household is functioning as it should. Lucia and the other slaves are bringing out the food. This is the cena, the main meal of the day. Romans eat lightly in the morning and at midday. But the evening meal is substantial. This is when they truly dine. The dining room opens onto the courtyard. 3 couches are arranged in a U shape around a low table. The merchant takes his place on one couch. His wife reclines on another, their daughter on the third. This is the Roman way of dining, lying on one's left side, propped on the elbow, eating with the right hand. It takes practice to eat this way gracefully. But they have been doing it all their lives. It is natural to them. The first course arrives. Eggs, olives, salad greens dressed with oil and vinegar, small fish preserved in brine. These are the gustaccio, the appetizers, meant to stimulate the appetite. They eat slowly. There is no rush. The evening stretches ahead. This is time for family, for conversation, for connection. The merchant tells his wife about his business at the forum, the deal he made with the wine importer. She listens attentively. She understands commerce. She manages the household accounts. She knows the value of a good deal. Their daughter talks about her upcoming wedding. It is only a few months away now. There is much to plan. The ceremony, the feast, the guests. Her mother has been helping her, teaching her what she needs to know about running a household of her own. The main course arrives. Roasted chicken, a fish and sauce, vegetables cooked with herbs, bread. The food is well prepared. Lucia is a skilled cook. The merchant is fortunate to have her. They eat with their fingers. There are no forks. Spoons for soup, yes. Knives for cutting, but mostly fingers. This is normal. Napkins are provided. Slaves bring water for washing hands between courses. The conversation continues. The merchant's wife mentions the dinner party they are hosting. She has the menu planned. She has sent invitations. Everything is arranged. The merchant trusts her completely in these matters. She is competent, organized, a good manager. They discuss their daughter's betrothed. He is from a good family, a young man with prospects. The marriage will be advantageous for both families. But more than that, the young people seem to like each other. That is not always the case in arranged marriages. It is a blessing when it happens. Wine is served throughout the meal, mixed with water as always. The proportion varies. Sometimes more wine, sometimes more water. But never wine alone. That would be barbaric. The slaves move quietly around them, bringing dishes, removing empty plates, refilling cups. They are nearly invisible. The family is so used to their presence that they barely notice them. But the slaves notice everything. They hear every conversation. They see every interaction. They know the family's secrets, their hopes, their fears, their petty arguments and genuine affections. Lucia stands near the kitchen doorway, watching, making sure everything runs smoothly. She has served this family for 15 years. She knows their preferences, their habits, their moods. She is thinking about her own meal. The slaves will eat after the family is finished. They will eat the same food, mostly. What is left over? It is good food. She is not complaining. But it is not the same as sitting at the table, as being part of the conversation, as being family. She is a slave. She will always be a slave. There is no hope of freedom for her. She has accepted this. But sometimes, watching the family together, she feels the weight of it. The final course arrives. Fruit, nuts, honey cakes. These are the second-day mensae, the second tables, the sweet ending to the meal. The merchant's daughter takes a honey cake and bites into it. The honey drips onto her fingers. She licks them clean. Her mother smiles at her. She is still young, still allowed to be a little messy. Soon she will be a married woman, expected to be dignified at all times. The conversation has grown quieter, more reflective. The food has made them drowsy. The wine has relaxed them. They are content. The merchant thinks about his day, the forum, the baths, this meal. It has been a good day, productive, satisfying. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, new opportunities. But for now, he is at peace. Across the city, in the small room at the top of the insula, the laborer and his wife are also eating. Their meal is simpler: bread, cheese, some onions, a little dried fish. They have no dining couches. They sit on the floor. They have no slaves to serve them. They serve themselves. But they are together. That matters. The laborer tells his wife about the games, the fights he saw, the gladiator who was spared. She listens. She did not go to the games. She was working. But she enjoys hearing about them. She tells him about her day at the wealthy household, the tasks she completed, the gossip she heard from the other servants. They talk quietly. The walls are thin. Their neighbors can hear everything. They eat their simple meal. They drink water. They cannot afford wine, even watered wine. But the water is clean. That is something. When they are finished, they clean up. There is not much to clean. A few dishes. They wash them in a basin. They put them away. The room is dark now. They light their small oil lamp. It gives off a weak, flickering light. But it is enough. They will go to sleep soon. They are both tired. The work is hard. The days are long. Sleep is a blessing. But for now, they sit together. They talk a little more, about nothing important, about everything important, about their lives, their hopes, their small joys. This is what evening is for. This coming together. This sharing of food and conversation. This brief respite from the demands of the world. Rich or poor, the pattern is the same. Families gather. They eat. They talk. They connect. The day is winding down. The city is growing quieter. The streets are emptying. People are in their homes now, safe, fed, together. The merchant's household is settling for the night. The slaves are eating their meal in the kitchen. The family is finishing their wine. The oil lamps are being lit throughout the house. Soon they will retire to their beds. Soon sleep will come. But for now, there is this gentle time, this peaceful hour, this moment of rest. The day has been full, but it is ending well. The darkness comes slowly. First, the sky deepens. The purple fades to indigo. The stars begin to appear. One by one, then in clusters. The moon rises, pale and bright. The city changes at night. It becomes a different place. Quieter, darker, more mysterious. The streets are emptying. Most people are home now. The shops are closed. The shutters are fastened. The day's business is done. But Rome does not sleep entirely. There is still movement, still sound, just less of it. The night watch is coming on duty. These are men employed by the city to patrol the streets, to watch for fires, to maintain order. They carry torches and clubs. They walk in groups for safety. Fire is the great fear at night. The insulae are built of wood and brick. They are crowded. They are full of oil lamps and cooking fires. A single spark can become a disaster. The night watch is vigilant. They walk through the narrow streets. Their torches cast moving shadows on the walls. Their footsteps echo. They call out to each other. letting people know they are there, that the city is protected. In the merchant's house, the family is preparing for bed. The daughter has already retired to her room. She lies on her bed, thinking about her betrothed, about her future, about the life that awaits her. The merchant and his wife linger a little longer in the courtyard. They sit together on a bench. The fountain trickles. The stars shine overhead. It is peaceful. They talk quietly. About nothing in particular. About everything. These are the conversations that sustain a marriage. The small exchanges. The shared silences. The comfort of presence. Eventually they rise. They go to their bedroom. A slave has already prepared it. The bed is made. A small oil lamp burns on a table. The room is ready. They undress. They lie down. The bed is comfortable, stuffed with wool, covered with linen sheets. They are fortunate. They know this. The merchant's wife falls asleep quickly. She is tired. The day has been full. The merchant lies awake a little longer. His mind is still working, thinking about tomorrow, about his business, about his responsibilities. But gradually, he too drifts off. His breathing deepens. His body relaxes. Sleep takes him. Throughout the house, the slaves are settling. They sleep in various places, small rooms, corners, wherever space can be found. Their accommodations are simple, but they are used to it. Marcus lies on his mat near the door. He is the last line of defense. If anyone tries to enter during the night, he will hear them. He will raise the alarm. This is his duty. Lucia is in her small room off the kitchen. She is tired. Her feet hurt. Her back aches. But she is grateful for this space, for this privacy. Some slaves have less. She says a brief prayer before sleeping, to the household gods, to her own gods, the ones she remembers from before she was enslaved. She asks for protection, for health, for another day. Then she sleeps. In the insula, the laborer and his wife are also in bed. Their mat is thin, the floor is hard, but they are together. They lie close, sharing warmth. The sounds of the building surround them. A baby crying somewhere below. A couple arguing through the wall. Footsteps on the stairs. The creaks and groans of the structure settling. These sounds are familiar. They are the sounds of home. The laborer barely notices them anymore. He is already half asleep. His wife lies awake a little longer. She is thinking about tomorrow, about the work that awaits, about the endless cycle of days. But she is not unhappy. This is her life. She accepts it. She reaches out and touches her husband's shoulder. He murmurs something. She smiles in the darkness. Then she too closes her eyes. The streets are very quiet now. Most of the oil lamps in the windows have been extinguished. The city is dark except for the moon and stars, and the torches of the night watch. A dog barks somewhere. Another answers. Then silence again. A cart rumbles through the streets. This is allowed at night. During the day, carts are banned from most of Rome's streets. Too much traffic, too much congestion. But at night, they can move freely, bringing supplies, removing waste, doing the work that keeps the city functioning. The cart driver is tired. He has been working since sunset. He will work until dawn. Then he will sleep while others are awake. His life runs on a different schedule. The temples are dark. The gods are resting too, perhaps, or watching, always watching. The Romans believe the gods are present, active, involved in human affairs, even at night. A priest makes a late offering at a neighborhood shrine, a few drops of wine, a whispered prayer. Then he hurries home. The streets are not entirely safe at night. Better to be indoors. The Forum is empty, silent. The great space that was so full of life during the day is now abandoned. The marble columns stand like ghosts in the moonlight. Thus ours. Statues cast long shadows. This is when Rome feels most ancient, most eternal. In the darkness and the silence, you can sense the weight of history. All the days that have passed, all the people who have walked these streets, all the lives that have been lived here. The city is sleeping, but it is not dead. It is resting, gathering strength for tomorrow, for the next day, for all the days to come. In a few hours, the bakers will wake. They will kindle their ovens. They will begin the cycle again. The city will stir. The streets will fill. The noise will return. But for now, there is peace. There is darkness. There is rest. The laborer sleeps. The merchant sleeps. The slaves sleep. The senator in his grand house sleeps. The beggar in his doorway sleeps. Rich and poor, powerful and powerless, citizen and slave, all are equal in sleep. The stars wheel overhead. The moon crosses the sky. The night deepens. Rome rests. The eternal city sleeps. And in sleeping it dreams. Of glory, of conquest, of empire, of all that it has been and all that it will be. But those are dreams for another time. For now, there is only the quiet, the darkness, the peace of night. The day is over. Tomorrow will come soon enough. The night is deep now. The city lies still beneath the stars. The same stars that have watched over Rome for centuries. The same moon that has lit these streets since the city was young. You have lived a day in ancient Rome. A single day. From the darkness before dawn to the darkness after dusk. From the first stirrings of the bakers to the final prayers of the priests. You have walked the streets, smelled the bread baking, heard the voices in the Forum, felt the heat of midday, experienced the relief of the baths, tasted the evening meal, watched the city settle into sleep. This was not a day of great events. No emperors were crowned. No battles were fought. No laws were passed that would echo through history. This was simply a day, an ordinary day, the kind of day that Romans lived again and again, the kind of day that made up their lives. But in that ordinariness there is something profound. Because this is how life is actually lived, not in grand moments, but in small ones, not in history books, but in daily routines. The laborer waking in his small room, the merchant conducting his business, the slaves performing their duties, the family gathering for the evening meal. These are the moments that matter. These are the moments that are real. Rome was an empire. It conquered nations. It built monuments. It created laws that still influence us today. But it was also this: people waking and working and eating and sleeping. People living their lives as best they could. The wealthy in their comfortable houses, the poor in their cramped apartments. The slaves with no freedom. The citizens with their rights and privileges. All of them part of the same city. All of them connected by the rhythms of the day. Morning came, the sun rose, the city woke, work began. Midday arrived. The heat intensified. People sought shade. They rested. Afternoon brought relief. The baths opened. People gathered. They cleaned themselves. They talked. They connected. Evening fell. Families came together. They ate. They shared their days. They found comfort in each other's presence. Night descended. The city quieted. People retired to their beds. Sleep came. This rhythm is ancient. It is human. It connects us to those Romans across the vast distance of time. They lived differently than we do. Their world was different. But the basic pattern of their days was not so different from ours. They woke. They worked. They ate. They rested. They connected with others. They slept. We do the same, in different ways, with different tools, in different circumstances. But the fundamental rhythm remains. There is comfort in that, in knowing that people have always lived this way, that the cycle of days continues, that life goes on. The Rome you have experienced today is gone now. The buildings have crumbled. The people have turned to dust. The voices have faded into silence. But for a moment, you were there. You walked those streets. You saw those faces. You heard those sounds. You lived that day. And in living it, you touched something eternal. Not the empire, not the monuments, but the simple fact of human existence. The daily struggle and the daily joy. The work and the rest. The connection and the solitude. The laborer sleeps in his small room. Tomorrow he will wake and work again. His body will ache. His hands will be rough, but he will endure, because that is what people do. They endure. The merchant sleeps in his comfortable bed. Tomorrow he will conduct more business, make more deals, worry about his profits. But tonight he is at peace. His family is safe. His household is in order. The slaves sleep where they can. Tomorrow they will serve again. They have no choice. But tonight, in sleep, they are free. In dreams, anything is possible. The city sleeps, but it will wake. It always wakes. Day after day. Year after year. Century after century. Until one day it doesn't. Until the empire falls. Until the glory fades. Until Rome becomes a memory. But that is far in the future. Tonight, Rome is still the eternal city, still the center of the world, still powerful and proud and alive. Tonight, Rome sleeps peacefully, secure in its strength, confident in its future. The stars shine. The moon glows. The night watch makes its rounds. The fountain in the merchant's courtyard trickles softly. All is well. All is as it should be. The day is complete. The circle is closed. Morning will come again. But for now, there's only rest. Close your eyes. Feel the weight of the day lifting. Feel your body relaxing. Feel sleep approaching. You are in Rome, in ancient Rome, in the eternal city. You are safe. You are at peace. The sounds of the city fade. The darkness deepens. Your breathing slows. Sleep comes gently, like a friend, like a blessing. Tomorrow is another day, but tomorrow is not here yet. For now there is only this moment, this quiet, this peace. Sleep well, rest deeply. Dream of Rome. The eternal city watches over you, as it has watched over millions before you, as it will watch over millions yet to come. You are part of something larger, something that transcends time, something that connects all of us who have ever lived, who have ever worked and rested and hoped and dreamed. The day is done. The night is here. Sleep now, sleep. Thank you for experiencing this journey through a day in ancient Rome. May you rest well.